Hello. Hello and welcome to a new stream. thanks for joining, Mijo. I know that you're on the train, but yeah, you say that you have a better stream quality there. That's surprising. And Nick, you say the myth, the legend, Albert Leco. Who's that? Can I know, Nick? Welcome to the stream, Nick. How did Among Us went yesterday? You saw the clip that you sent. Um, and let me tell you what we're going to be doing today. So yesterday, TC told me about Audio Mixer. I didn't know anything about it, and I decided to do some research about what it was about, and I ended up making this thing here. So Audio Mixer, I didn't know. Again, I didn't know. Works for basically having a mastering, um, an audio mastering inside Unity. So you can have different channels for different types of sounds. And for example, I have master that controls everything. So everything is like a child of master. Then we have UI, spells, movement, enemies, and we have music separated. So I think it's pretty cool. I didn't know it existed, and the more cool thing about this, more than just having separate channels, because you could have separate channels if you use audio sources, like different audio sources for different things. But these allow you to put compressors, normalizing, do different effects that I didn't know you could do just inside Unity. I generally, when I wanted to do such things with audio, I used a plugin called Fmod, pretty popular thing. But yeah, I didn't know it could be done with Audio Mixer. Nick is a kind of myth. There were a ton of silly moments, but I got another good feeling with. So compared to the one from the day before, this one wasn't as good. Well, you had four chances of being an imposter. Oh, yeah, the stream may be. Yeah, I think I'll do the thing with. Give me just a second. Don't know why, but when I disconnect this and reconnect them after some time, they seem to be working better. I don't know. So I'm going to reconnect them in some seconds to see if it gets better. Because I truly don't know. I hope it gets better when I reconnect them. Give me a second. What about now? It seems to be sucking anyway. Yeah. And Nikki said I looked at yesterday's bot and it loaded fine, so my phone ain't the fault. Dude, I'm dropping frames like crazy. Dropping frames like crazy. Hmm. Well, if it doesn't get better now, Fully don't know what to do. It seems to be getting better right now. And you say, "Oh, I'm a minute behind. Didn't even notice." Wow. And I keep dropping frames. Okay, it seems to be more stable now. It should be better now. I think. Better? Okay. Yeah, now it's dropping frames again. I don't know why, dude. Like, I have to really search, but I can that it's constantly like going up and down the connection. It goes up and down. And let me see what YouTube can tell me about this. Nothing. It seems like the stream is not even running in here. But you're here, so I would guess it is running. Yeah, it's way behind. The stream is way behind. It's lower than the recommended bitrate. Um, yeah, let me do. I can't really change the settings here now because I'm already streaming. It seems. Or what if I do 4,000 bitrate? 4,000. Let's cap at 4,000. Let's cap it at 4,000 and let's do one. So vertical canvas. But I hope I'll have like enough data to like send it to YouTube. I don't know. Advanced settings. Is it better now? No, it should. It's the same. The technical difficulties are gonna be the end of me. In general, if I go to vertical outputs, vertical encoder. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that I can take here. Because I capped the connection at 4,000 of bit rate. Yeah, my connection could be limited. Let me do the trick again. Let me do the trick again with the antennas. Hmm. I disconnected one, only one, and now it's better somehow. I'll be right back. GIF at 2 FPS. Roman, when I made a better Twitch in 30 days. Dude, at this rate, soon. Um, yeah, let's do one more check. It's dropping again. And yeah, because it's like just trying to annoy me because it works for, I don't know, some seconds and then it goes back to not working. And it's, I don't touch anything. Okay, give me another second, and I'll. I don't know really what I'll do. I don't wanna cancel the stream or anything just because of the FPS or just because of the bitrate. I already did that for Monday and Tuesday. Okay, I connected it again. Let's see what OBS can tell me about that change. It's at 6,000 bitrate or kilobytes per second, 3,000 now, 5,000, 3,600, 4,300, 183. It varies a lot. And Mihol is like, dude, how is the person next to me fully attending a Zoom meeting? I don't know. And Nick say, I mean, people in space stations have Zoom calls. Great point, but how? Miho is a meanwhile, me trying to receive a live stream, nothing is outgoing either. Yeah, but I think uh, it's not only your problem of internet, it's both both of us having an internet problem. You do bad, I agree. Okay, guys, let's hope. Let's hope it goes better. Are you getting dropped frames now? Uh, let me open something. Let me start doing something. So, okay, let me go to the main scene and let me put the virtual background. And need to say, what if the ISP guys messed with the router settings unlimited by accident? That would be an option, and that could be possible. But if that were the case, the rest of my family would have problems with the internet, and they don't. I'm the only one that has problems with the internet, and I'm the one that needs it the most. Um, but well, my brother too. But I think it's just a problem with my PC, probably like with the way it handles connections or something. Let me do a speed test so I can see what is the real speed that I'm getting from the test. Because it goes really good when I do this test sometimes. And then, dude, you see, it goes really well. That shouldn't be an issue. It goes really well. Like 60 is way more than enough to. Well, the upload is really the one that is controlling the quality, right? Yeah, it's good, but it's unstable. I think I doxed myself. I just doxed myself. Well, I'll edit it. I'll edit that after the stream. You keep the secret where I live. Well, it had to happen sometime. It's better that it happened now. Um, yeah, but I'll just edit the re-upload. He's in Mijo. I think his house might be on a train too. Yeah, that's a big chance that that's the case. Okay, so let me open a script and let me start writing stuff so we can see if it's running better now. Okay, so let's go to scripts in here. The, Today is the worst, the worst. I swear, the worst day for streaming. Like, uh, there's so much background noise. I hope you don't hear it. Okay, so in here, let's go audio manager. And what's this? Don't care. Just close, close. Okay, here. If I move around here, do you have any problem with that? Like any dropped frames? I don't think so. I think now it's stabilized. Yeah, it's stable now. So yeah, so what I want to do here is I think we changed this yesterday, but since I'm using the audio mixer now, I want to change this again. And I'm going to write here on GitHub desktop. I'm going to write Nicked. He said I closed the YouTube app at the same time I heard I doxed myself. What did you do, Roman? I doxed myself. That's what I did. So don't go back on the stream and don't tell anyone. But I'm going to just well on the vertical one, the vertical is going to be unlisted. On this one, I'm just going to uh the edit after. So let me see. What time? 22 minutes in or 20 minutes in, I doxed myself. So I'm just going to edit that. Okay, so in here, I want to put a message that is um, audio mixer or setup on integration, setup, and that one guy, wow, says, "Hey, what's up?" That one guy. Welcome to the stream. And Nick just say the stream is not running. Interesting. It's not running, like at all. It isn't running. It seems to be running for me. Like I can see the vertical on the horizontal one, running in here. And that one guy says, "What are you coding?" I'm coding an audio system for the game that I'm working on, so I can show you. This is the game that I'm working on, and I'm just making an audio system for it. Just yesterday we added some sounds and stuff, so now it's time to improve the audio system. And I still have to add like more audio and stuff, but it's just that. Okay. Let's go in here. And what I want to do is basically, since I now have, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to read it to you. So I have master, I have UI, I have spells, movement, enemies, and music. Those are all channels. And I have here on the hierarchy, on my audio manager, I have separate audio sources for each one of those channels. So now I just have to root or whenever I play a sound, I have to tell it like what audio source do I want to use, or more specifically, what channel. And that one guy says, oh my God, that's sick, that's awesome." Uh, I'm glad you enjoy the what I'm making here. And Mijo, you say I have established a ping. Nick, you say so he's live, but not really. What do you see when I stream? Like I don't know. I don't have a clue what you're seeing. Connect your encoder to go live. For me, it shows up. It shows up fairly well now. Okay, so in here, let's go to here, and I'm going to, instead of doing play sound effects, I'm going to just do play, but specifying, yeah, being specific with what audio source I'm using. So it's going to be first. And need to say, I'm just really confused then. If it's just a stream, then outgoing wireless might just have a weird bandwidth limit. Um, Not sure. Not sure. If I knew, probably wouldn't have these errors. Or like a per device thing. It got reset. I don't know. I If I were you and you can't see the stream correctly, I would try like um just closing YouTube completely and open it again. Because otherwise, like I don't know. Okay, so here, what do I want to do? I want to, well, first I'm going to create public enum, and I'm going to create uh Danasis Perras. I hope I'm not butchering your name. It says love ya. Welcome to the stream, Danis or Thanasis Perras. Welcome to the stream. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to say audio channel, or audio channels. And here I'll have master. Well, which one is it's set to master? So I have master, I have UI, I have, let's check those. So I have master, UI, spells, movement, enemies, and music. UI, movement, spells, enemies, and music. Well, the music one is gonna work a little bit different, but doesn't matter. And me only say I've reached the city, so you can see it better now. And NGU, I don't know how to pronounce it. Vietnam M5N says, I'm not sure what you said there, but welcome to the stream. And that one guy, you say, how did you get so good at Unity, bro? Like I spent 7 hours over 3 days trying to get movement to work. I wouldn't let me move at all. Uh, and you say, pretty sure it's skill issue though. Well, I was very bad at Unity, like at coding at all. I started with GameMaker because it's simpler. It's a simpler language, and then I moved on to Unity. And it took me a lot of time, like just studying and learning and trying to apply stuff until I get it to a point where I could do some stuff. So it was easier to learn other things. And the best way for me to learn is like trying to do things that I'm not familiar with. So I can learn those things and like just start gathering data or gathering knowledge from the adjacent things that I could be learning from what I already know. I don't know if I explained myself correctly, but yeah, like basically just doing small projects and trying to do things that you don't know how to do. Okay, so in here, let's save this, and I'm going to modify the play sound effect thingy. So here, public. And need to say the stream is still not alive though. Now I'm not getting any drop frames. I think if there is a problem, the problem is on YouTube or it's on YouTube. I don't know what could be the problem there. Okay, so play public void play sound effects. It's the same that I had going on before, but here instead of just saying what audio effect I want to play or just passing an audio clip, I'm going to start with specifying which channel. So I'm gonna say here audio channels, and it's just the one that we just created. So audio channel like that, and then I'm going to specify audio effects and audio effect. What's the one that I want to play? And then another variable for float volume scale, and it's going to be set to 1 as a default, so I can leave it empty. And that one guy, you say, how long have you known C++, C sharp? I started, I think I started at 15. I'm now 22. I started at 15, but I really got into like learning at 17, probably. So from 17 to 22, we have like a minimum of 5 years. Not all of those years were like all the year learning, because in the middle of those years, I there were periods where I didn't do anything, but I could say like 2 3 years, something like that. But I'm still not an expert though. I'm not an expert. I'm advanced enough that I can do a lot of things, but I'm not like a wizard or anything yet. And me always say, "Oh, I just reloaded." Since I was gone, I was seeing nothing in chat other than my own messages. Anyway, see you in some time. My station is almost here. Okay, Mijo. See you in a while. Okay, so in here, I just want to use, and that one guy is say, "Nice, you look really good. Your naming and syntax conventions look really clean." Thank you, thank you. I try to make clean code so I don't have to, so I don't stress when reading stuff, and I try to have like names that make sense when you read them, even though they can get long. They should make sense when you read them. Okay, so here I just have to filter through every audio channel. So I'm going to have a dictionary of the audio channels here. Sound effects dictionary. So I have a sound effects dictionary. I'm going to have another dictionary, private dictionary, and this dictionary is going to be for pairing the audio channels with their respective audio sources. Audio source. So here is going to be, I'm going to call this audio source, audio sources for dictionary, and it's going to be a new dictionary. I know you can do this both ways. You can just do new and both parentheses there, and that's the new way and the cleaner way to do it. But I just like to do it in the older way, just because I like to see. I like to. It's easier for me to tell that I'm initializing things. So yeah, this is for audio channels and audio sources. So now I have to initialize the values, and I'm going to write an initialization function for this. Private void initial ice. It's going to be audio sources dictionary like this, and I'm going to put it in here, initialize audio sources dictionary. Now I'm going to need the reference to all of those dictionaries, And that one guy say, got any C++, or C sharp tips? I'm really new and my code looks very special. I've been learning for 2 months, so I would love some help. Um, the best thing that I can tell you, like the best tip that I can give you, is really try to pick just one thing to get better at, and until you master that thing or until you completely learn that thing, you then move to another thing. And it's always good to um, like get familiarized with the basic concepts of programming first. So it's like having tools. You can do multiple things with just one tool, but there's gonna be, the more tools you know, the more ways you will be able to approach a problem. And there's simpler ways and there's more complex ways to do things. But the more tools you have, the better, or the more approaches you will be able to apply. You know, so try to start with the basics. I would recommend you this webpage here. It has been really helpful, and I still use it to this day. It's W3 Schools. Just search W3 Schools C Sharp, and here they have like basic introductions to every basic topic of um, C Sharp. So I would, that's my best tip that I can give you for now. There's like tutorials and there's like courses and whatever. Those are helpful too. But if I were you, and I only had one thing, it's this: like just reading the documentation and learning from there and trying to apply myself and apply and apply and apply. And Annie is here and says, "Hi Roman, what's up, Annie? Welcome to the stream. How is it going? How did the event go? Did the event already happen, right? The event that you were talking about some streams ago." And Nate to say, wait, the vertical was working the whole time and you didn't say anything? The vertical was working. The vertical stream always has been working. I don't know if the horizontal doesn't work for you, because I can see it here. It works for me. It does work for me. Connect your encoder to go live. Yeah. So there's no. So how did it go? How did the event go? Let me see, because I can see if I refresh this page, I can see both streams here. And by the way, if you're on the vertical stream and you see the horizontal stream, like go watch the horizontal. I think it's better. Um, and that one guy you say, do you use manual memory management a lot? Not really. C Sharp takes care of handling that for you. C++, you have to manually allocate memory, but here in Unity C Sharp or in C Sharp in general, you have something called garbage collector. So that takes care of the memory management, but you still have to like play around it, and you can still like allocate data if you want, but yeah, the garbage collector takes care of most of the data allocation and reallocation. And Annie, you say you know Percy Jackson, right? Yes, I do know Percy Jackson. And Nick, you say, I mean, it didn't load for both of us for like 50 minutes, but Mijo is gone now. I don't know. We had C++ here. It's mean. No, I don't hate C++. I don't hate it. I just love C sharp. Okay, so in here, what I was doing is I want to have not just the clips, but I'm going to have another array, serialized field, so I can see it in the inspector, and it's going to be a private. And what do I need? I want audio sources, so I want to put them in order. And here I'm going to do array, so both brackets there. And here it's just audio sources array, and it's going to be equal. Well, I don't need to specify, just this, and then I have to assign them. And I need to say I kinda meet the actors that play Percy, Annabeth, Grover, and Luke. It was premiere. It was so fun. There was a lot of activities based on the series, Blue Food, and we watched the two first episodes. That's so cool. Yeah, I can tell you were not able to talk about it before it happened, but that's really really cool. And Nikki said the stream is working, but I refuse to believe that it was on my end. Maybe YouTube. Everyone's responsible but me. Um, yeah, because now I'm running the stream. It seems to be working right. So you should be able to see the horizontal stream now. I don't know. Weird things. Weird things. Okay, so here I want to initialize this, but I'll have to start from probably from one because I don't want to start from zero because if I start from zero, master doesn't really have an audio source. Just UI, movement, spells, enemies, and music have. Because master is like just controlling all the sound effects. Not it's not a particular audio source. So yeah, let's do this. Let's go in here and let's go in here and I want to say, well, basically the same thing that I did here, but now it's not audio effects. It's going to be what? Let's start with enum dot get values, and the type of the values is type of is going to be audio source, and I want to cast this as an audio source array, but it's throwing me an error just because I haven't assigned it to anything else. So audio source array and audio effect value, or sorry, audio effects. I'm just looking at the one here. So this one is going to be called audio sources. Audio sources equal that. So if you go in here, well, it's the key. So I really need audio channels in here. Audio channels. Audio channels. And the same for here. Audio channels. Like that. Now, I'm going to do basically the same thing for every one of those. Int I equals, I think I'm going to start at 1 because I want to skip master. Master is the first index, so it's 0. And I'm going to skip it by just starting from counting from 1. And that one guy, you say you're the coworker everybody wants. Your naming conventions look better than most APIs. Thanks. Uh, I mainly do this like long names. I got used to just writing long names now because it's confusing if you like it. I think code that is like uses a lot of shortening looks cooler and it's like cleaner to see. But when you're working with a massive script, it's a little bit annoying to not know what everything does, or not be able to tell what everything does. Um, yeah, so in here, if I is less than what? It's less than the audio sources that we have, and I'll just specify the length. I'm going to add to I, and here, what do I want to do with that? I'm just going to assign each source to their I'm going to pass, or I'm going to add to the dictionary first the key of the audio channel, and the value is going to be the audio source that's related to that keyword. So here I'm going to use the is the audio source. No, let's do, it's the sound effects dictionary. No, the dictionary that I want is audio source of dictionary here. So cool thing about having those underscores before your variables is that when you have like a very long script, you just can use underscore and it's going to give you every, like the autocomplete is going to give you every single variable that you have. So that's pretty helpful. So yeah, audio source dict, and I'm going to add a key value pair. So the key is going to be audio sources, and I want I. So I equals 1 at first, and the value is going to be, well, is going to be audio sources, and I want I. So that's the index. So every is going to be adding 1. So I'll start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until there's no more audio sources or no more other channels. And I'm going to rename this because this is not really audio sources. This is really audio channels, like this. And need to say Roman is a great programmer, except when he's not. Exactly. Yeah, I'm not perfect, not a perfect programmer, and I do certain things that are not conventionally appropriate sometimes. But it's just for for the love of the game. Um, no, but there are just things that I enjoy doing in other ways, and since I'm the only one working in this project, I have the liberty of doing that. And I try to, when I do those things, I try to document them well. So, or not document them, but like fill them with comments. Okay, so here I have the initialization of both of those. Now I have to change the play sound effect thingy. So in here, I'm just going to replace both of this with this new one. And what else? What else? Play music, initialize audio source, dictionary. Okay, that's it, I think. So I want to do what? I'm going to first copy this because I also could pass directly an audio clip. So I want the function to be able to receive either an audio effect or an audio clip, like this. And it's going to be an audio clip. And volume scale is going to be set as 1 as a default. So you don't need to specify it if you don't want to. Now, it's basically going to do the same thing here. So I'm just going to copy this. Basically the same thing. The only difference is that, well, I'm going to get rid of those. The only difference is that since now I have different audio channels, I want to specify what audio channel I want to play it in. And so this is no longer going to be effects audio source. DC, you say, how's that audio mixer, Roman? Had to jump scare you, sorry. Welcome, TC. Welcome to the stream. Actually, very good. Very good. Let me show you. Yesterday, I played a lot with it. I looked for videos how to set it up. I asked ChatGPT, like, how does it work? Where can I use it? How to use compressors and whatever. And I learned the basics for a setup that I would call, well, it's the best thing that I can do now with the knowledge that I have. So here I have different channels for, like, master controls everything, UI, spells, movement, enemies, music, and I'm just making, I'm just changing now the functions that I had before for ones that have separate channels, so you can specify the channel. And that one guy, you say, do you know Python? What about Metal? I used Python when it was 2021 maybe, or 2022. That's the last time I used Python, and it was, I didn't really use it a lot. It was just like, I want to learn Python. I was in my web dev era, so I used Python for a while. It was like a month or 2 months, and then I dropped it and went back to game dev. So I would say if I were to have to use Python, I would be stuck. No, but I would have to get a reminder for sure. And what about Metal? Never heard of it. Is that a coding language? Never heard about it. And what do you use it for? What do you use Metal for? Because Python is like pretty general use. I think that's pretty cool of Python. You can go into AI, you can go into making websites, you can go into making robotic stuff, you can go into different fields, and you can still use the same language. You can also go into game dev using Python. Okay, so I just want to switch this depending on the audio channel that I specify. So here, and this is probably going to throw me a lot of errors wherever I have used these functions. So here, I want to use effects. So what is this? I want to access the audio sources dictionary, and the key for this is going to be the audio channel. And yeah, that's basically it. That's the only change that I had to make. But I just had to set up the dictionaries for that because I created the audio channels here as an enum too. And need to say, wasn't Metal the iOS one? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Metal. Okay, so now where are the errors? When I play this, probably I'm gonna get a lot of errors. But first, I have to specify here on the audio manager the audio sources, and they need to be in order. So first, well, I have to leave one empty for master. Master doesn't have any associated audio source. So use just UI, spells, movement, enemies, and music is still there. Music is still there, but I really don't. I'm not doing anything with it yet. And that one guy is like, yeah, Metal is like C++, but on psychedelics, it looks so bad. It is an Apple API. Metal is C++, but with native GPU acceleration. I'm using it for my custom from scratch renderer. Wow, you're going into rendering? That's wild. That's super super cool actually. And what made you go into, like, what made you choose Metal? Because I've seen when you go into rendering, when you have like Vulkan, you have OpenGL, you have a couple more, and normally you're using like C++. What do you make you go into Metal? Just because you were trying to go into trying to build for Apple? Okay, so since that's set up, let's try it. Probably gonna get some errors. If I don't get errors, yeah, some errors here. So now I can go and try and fix them. So yeah, it's on the, whenever I call these ones, I have to specify now the type or the audio channel. So here I'll go dot audio manager dot what. So play sound effect. The spell sound effect is gonna be on spells, of course. So yeah, it's audio channels, spells. That's it. So one problem out. Let's see where is the other one. And this is the same. So audio channels or audio manager that audio channels. This could be cleaner if I put them into a namespace or something, but yeah, I'm not doing that for now. Audio channels, and this is spells. So no longer throwing me any errors. And need to say, now I remember, why not Vulkan? Apple supports it. It's a standard now. And that one guy you say because it's crazy fast. It is very hard and there are almost no documentation on it, but the speed is crazy. Well, the speed is crazy. Nothing to say about that then. everything for performance, right? Especially when rendering. Like rendering is pretty hard on resources if you don't do it well. And that one guy, you say, I'm trying to make it by myself for learning. The math and code is super good for learning. That's cool too. Like just tackling um, different or tackling difficult stuff at the beginning. It's gonna make it much easier to tackle the rest after. These are like different approaches. You can start like very slowly and gradually learn, or like take a huge problem right away, and when you're able to solve it, the rest of the things are going to be easier to acquire since you dominated the one that's more difficult. Okay, so here there are no more problems. Let's read the errors again. Here, play SFX. I have to say audio manager in instance. No, I don't need the instance. What I need is audio channels. And here, this is for movement, I guess. Yeah, because this is for dash. So that's gonna be on the movement channel. Need to say, I remember that they made a MOBA to show off how metal. A MOBA, it's like League of Legends, or what's this other popular name or popular game? Dota, Dota 2. It's a MOBA too. How did I put a how there? Yeah, so in here, these are all the same. I think I'm just going to copy this since it's just the same. Here, for movement, that's jump, so I'm going to need the same channel. That's for landing, and that script is clear. Now we have 5 more errors, so probably, yeah, I think two of those are here. Let's do this and this just to specify the channel. And let's go again. Just one more error. And here, spellcast, casting AC. So this is for well, spells, on the spells channel. Now let's try it out, because I didn't really test it yesterday, because I just wanted to set it up, so you didn't have to see me set it up, but like on stream. But the coding is the interesting part that I like to do here. Okay, so let's try it. Let's see if we get any errors. Let's see how it sounds more than anything. Okay, no. Yeah, there's a problem. Argument exception. Type provided must be an enum. Where on audio channels, type of get values audio source. What's a problem here? And Nick, you say, how do you put a how there? That's a valid, respectable. The genre, that's League of Legends, indeed. And that one guy is a, oh, okay, I know World of Warcraft moved to metal, but somehow it's not popular. Did World of Warcraft move to metal? Didn't know. And TC, you say audio source isn't an enum? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good catch. Because I want audio channels here. Because I had, when I first made this, I put everything as audio sources, which I didn't really have to do. I just messed it up. But yeah, that was the only one that I needed to tweak. Okay, yeah, now we have audio. it is a little bit loud, not gonna lie. But I can tweak it now on master, or well, I can just tweak movement because in here, or let me see. What happens if I go into, and that one guy, you say not like moved, but the rendering engine did. Okay, okay. Okay, yeah, so we have audio. That's cool. Now, the thing is, I want to try and see if the volume is doing anything here. Because since it's just play one shot, I don't know if the scaling matters now. Let me go into, and I have normalization and compression happening, so where do I check that? See? Yeah, so where do I check that? I want to go to the animation handler or the humanoid animation handler. And in here, well, I did just for the player, so it's gonna be for the player animation handler that I put these sound effects because I wanted to try first to have stepping sounds for the player, and then I'll see if I add for the enemies. Need to say because why would you make a game that supports metal just for iOS, Mac users? No one in their right mind would do that unless they're paid or have a giant team. Yeah, they probably have a giant team. Like testing a game even is a pain. You have to pay for testing because you need to validate an app to test them. Yeah, I don't really like making things for Apple just because it's just a pain to test, and I don't have an Apple device either. So, but it's cool that the things are getting ported to Apple. And that one guy, you say, I don't know, I just use it because one, I have a Mac. That's the biggest point you could make. If you have a Mac, it's cool that you're making stuff for Mac too. And two, because it's fast. Three, I know Swift pretty well. If I ever make a game public rendering engine, I'll opt in for GPU C++. Um, okay, so here, let me see where I'm using the audio. Let me do Control F, audio here. And what if I put this to, I don't specify it. What if I don't specify it? This should be very loud. Then okay, yeah, it is pretty loud. So I think the scaling is working a little bit. But that's mostly normalization. Let's do 0.5 again. 0.25 again. Or let's do something really crazy like 0.1 just to see how it affects it. Because normalization is going to like put it to a regular level again. Yeah, you can still hear it. Now the sounds, like all the volume is pretty loud for me, at least. And I don't even have my computer audio that loud. And say, but none is gonna switch to it because non-Apple developers hate Apple. Like that's just non-realistic. And that one guy say, yeah, you're right. I'm just doing it this for learning. I think Apple's proprietary software is super annoying for devs, but I'm just doing this for learning. Like honestly, that's great. And like if you ever want to, like there's a huge market for uh apps that can run on Mac, so non Apple developers hate Apple, but that doesn't mean that everyone's hate Apple. Like people that are non devs want things made for Mac and for Apple devices. So and you say Nick, that's good, mate. Yeah, if you're going into like rendering, I would say most of the gamers like have non Apple devices because it's just more compatible with the other games. But yeah, other than that, I don't see the big deal. And Nick, you say that's good, mate. Keep on learning. Do you have a goal in mind? Do you want to be a developer or what? Okay, so in here, I have some attenuation going. Well, the attenuation could be after the compression and normalization. Mm, maximum amplitude. Okay, I think I could tweak the maximum amplitude to be something like 10 instead of that big 20 number. And that one guy you say I want to finish the engine. I really want to be. Tree has gotten good, and my dad, who is an IT engineer, said not to go to dev. Um, yeah, things are pretty unpredictable to be honest. Not like some like a decade ago. The common advice is like go into anything related with tech and you'll be okay. They'll pay well and whatever. But now with AI, it's a little bit different. It's more unpredictable what's going to happen with devs or how will it get affected. But I think it's still a good path to choose. Not just because the job offers you'll get, but like having the skills of like problem solving. It's pretty good. I think yeah, it's pretty good to have those skills. And then you say devs are not gonna die out. We had many talks about that in Discord. You still need someone who oversees the code. Yeah, I agree with that. It's just that the they're well, you still need who's gonna oversee this? Juniors are going to oversee this. Probably seniors are going to oversee the code. And who is senior? People that have already been in the industry for a long while, and progressively people will not want to like get juniors. But yeah, there are companies. I'll see what you were saying. Making a magic game live. Yeah, I don't know why that happens, but it's okay now. But there are companies like, especially the big ones, that can still afford to train their employees well enough that they can become senior and like advance in their career. Okay, now that we have that, I'm still not satisfied with the audio. I think it's super loud now. But let me see if how does it sound? How does the spell sound? And what about the fireball? Okay, I do think that the volumes are a little bit more like similar in volume to each other. But I think I'm going to make the everything related with movement is going to be just a little bit less noisy. Let's say -10, let's say. And need to say, I didn't even notice those sounds are nice. They are all trying to be very unique. Do you like them? I have a couple, just a couple to test, but I do like them. I do like them. I just I'm not sure if they are probably not going to be the final sounds, or not all of them are going to be the final sounds, and I still have to find a lot of sound effects. Yeah, I think maybe the attenuation should go after everything. Not for spells, but for movement, because I think movement is still pretty loud. Okay, -10 was a little bit too much. I can do edit in play mode, and let's bring this to -5. Yeah. So now let's go into the other sound effects that I have going on here. So this, I'm going to leave this at 0.5, 0.5 F. And these are magic numbers, but yeah, I'm going to create a variable for that. Let's do audio in here. Header, audio, and it's just going to be one variable, serialized field, private, and it's going to be step, audio, volume, volume scale, and it's going to be 0.5. Set at 0.5 F. What's the problem? I didn't specify this is a float. And here I'm gonna go to audio manager here. And I'm going to replace that with step audio volume scale in both places. Step audio volume scale. And yeah, now it's no longer magic numbers. We have a variable to control that. They're pretty loud still. Pretty loud. Let's do -8. But if I do -9 or -10, for example, doesn't seem to be doing all that much. Could I have? I think I put them in. I put them in not in movement, but in the spells. And that one, guys, I haven't really used C sharp. What does square brackets do? Well, depending on the context, because for example, as in C++, the brackets are used for creating arrays to specify that something is an array. Um, but in here, you have these things that are called. Honestly, I don't remember how they're called. Um, they're kind of like properties that can be. They're not called like that. They're called fields, maybe. Well, the name doesn't matter. I don't remember. But what they do is that you can have different things happening to that variable. So, for example, this header one makes that on the inspector, you can see audio. Like you can have like basically a title before the the variable. And here, this serialized field, for example, allows me to watch and tweak a private variable in the inspector. So normally when you want to modify a variable in the inspector, you have to make it public so it's exposed. If you do it private, it's not going to be exposed as default, so you have to serialize the field so it shows up on the inspector. So there's like a bunch of other uh, fields or properties that you can use, um, and they are inside of those square brackets too. In TC, say square brackets effectively mean container. Now let's see. That one guy say, "Oh, that makes sense. Good explanation. Um, you're welcome." Okay, so in here, I wanna see what is happening with the Nightwing is here and says, "Hi, I'm new here. Your game looks cool. How long have you been in game development?" Hello, Nightwing. Welcome to the stream. I and thanks for saying the game's cool. Thank you. So I've been in game development for roughly 5 years, 5 years now. But not any like not every one of those years was like me super into game dev. Like there was a year where I barely touched it, or a couple of years where I didn't touch it. So you could say that real counted years where I have spent coding, probably like 3 or 4. Because I like really started at 15. Now I'm 22. But I really like got into it at 17. So I don't know, probably like 2 or 3 full years. See, that's not a lie. That's a pure truth. I just can't really escape it. I'm that attracted to C sharp. That's a real quote from me. Okay, so in here, let's see. I have a problem where the I think an audio source is not being associated with the correct key. So when I call it, it's not really targeting the source I want, the audio source that I want. So here, player animation handler. Let's go into search audio manager. Yeah, here. So I am using movement, but the keyword movement is associated with the spells audio source. So I think there's a problem here in the initialize sound effects dictionary. Or no, not sound effects, but the initialize audio sources dictionary. So in here, I start at 1, I start counting at 1, and maybe that's the problem. That's the whole problem. Yeah, I have to start counting at um no, I'm lying, because if I start at 1, uh the first one is going to get skipped. So what matters here is that the it should be in this order: master, UI, movement, spells, enemies, and music. Let's see how it looks here. Let's press stop here. And in here, UI, spells, movement, enemies, and music. So that's the same order. Master, UI, movement, spells, enemies, and music. That's the same order. Now, if I go here, the audio sources, the first one, so number 0, I'm not going to call it, and that would be associated to master. So master doesn't have any audio sources. Then the UI, spells, movement, enemies, and music. So I'm not sure why. Let me debug this. Let me debug this so I can see in which order they are getting assigned. So let's do a debug.log, and I'm gonna do index, and I want I, and separated here is going to be the audio channel. So audio channel like that. It's going to be audio channels I, and here audio sources, or the audio source, and it's going to be audio sources dot I, so I can see what's happening there on assignment. That's another quote. Okay, so let's see what's happening on the console. Okay, so one is UI. Yeah, UI is okay. Movement is with spells, so there is the problem, and spells is with movement. So maybe they have just have different orders. So then, if I go here, UI movement, it's just changing these two in order, I think. So if I press play again, this should be fixed. Now, the UI is with UI, spells with spells, movement with movement, enemies with enemies, music with music. That's good. Now, if I edit in play mode and do this, let's do something crazy like -20. Yeah, it works. So I'm gonna bring it to, I don't know, -12 sounds alright, or -10 was good too. I still think the steps are just a little bit too loud. So I'm gonna tweak that in here on the player. So the player is here, and I have the player animation handler, and it's just right here on audio. I'm gonna make it be 0.35. Let's see if it's better. Still a lot. Let's do 0.3. Yeah, I think 0.3 is gonna be the sweet spot for me. We can always tweak it, but yeah, let's do 0.3, and I like to change it here in the code too. So in here, so if I reset this, it's going to be reset at 0.3 instead of 0.5. Okay, so now that's fixed. Now that that's fixed, let's see if every single one of those is getting into their correct channels. Okay, so fireball. And let me edit this. What if I put the attenuation first? Doesn't seem like a big change. No, it doesn't seem like a big change. I'm just going to make it be like as it was on default. So the attenuation is going to go first, then the compression, and then the normalization. You just say gambling is the best. Yeah, you have been really having fun with the gambling here with the characters. Okay, yeah, that one doesn't have any sound effects. Let's see. I have to find the sound effects for the rest of the things, and I would like to have for the fireball, for example. I think the first sound effects good, but I want something happening on impact too. And let me put the spells to edit in play mode. Let's do the spells to the -5. Because they're pretty loud. What about -7? Okay, I think that's good. -7 for the spells. We can always tweak it. It's just super easy to tweak. And yeah, let's go into Notion now. I think I had one of those tasks that I had in Notion was I don't even have an open. Let me open Notion. Yeah, one of the tasks was setting up the audio mixer, the audio manager to use it. Yeah, that's cool. So let's move that to done. But I also have to go into GitHub and audio mixer setup. Plus, if you don't remember from yesterday, the last thing that we did yesterday was adding different skybox. So plus skybox. I know it's a weird commit to do those things uh, together, but anyway. And that one guy just said, "Yo, I'm gonna go right now. I have to stop for bathroom. I'm in the car right now. All right, was good to have you here, and I hope I can see you again in another stream. So yeah, take care. Bye bye." And Nightwing, you say how you deal with light. Is it baked or I probably plan to have it baked or mixed. Yeah, probably will have it baked or mixed. I still don't know, but I'll see what I'll do when I go into like post processing and when I go to like twig lighting, uh, and all of those things that are related to it. Okay, so audio mixer setup plus skybox. And need to say the global skybox light is real time by default, Roman. Yeah, that's what I have now, but I plan to go for baked or mixed. I haven't touched the lights at all. Okay, so audio mixer set up with different channels. Plus the audio manager to work with the audio mixer. Plus added skybox. That's the commit. Commit to main and push to origin. Now, let's minimize this. And yeah, for sound effects, I have to gather a lot of these sound effects, but I was let me show you something. But before, give me a second. I'm gonna be right back. Just bathroom break. Hey, I'm back. What's with the gambling? A leaderboard. The cheese guy is still on top, but you're getting pretty close, Nate. You're number one. Oh yeah. Now that you're using both of your accounts. Okay. So here, I wanted to show you something. Yeah. So what is that something? Is this like I got some huge libraries of sound effects. Yeah, you're top one now. The cheese guy is not gonna like it. um, yeah. So here I got like a ton of effects from Sony's GDC, their GDC like bundles of effects. And let me actually go in here. Let's go Sony's GDC, and I got the bundles from 2019, 2018, and 2017. And I just need to find like I tried yesterday to find the specific sound effects, but these are more like I don't know, stock sounds. They are not really like made to like be used immediately, or well, they could be, but it's not like they are custom made to be something. It's not like you're going to find a fire spell sound effect. It's more like you're going to find a ton of fire sounds, and you'll have to create them with those. So I'll guess, I guess that today we're going to be doing a lot of audio ourselves with Audacity, like just grabbing samples and combining them and tweaking them to get something that we can use. I'm going to skip the Audacity version and let's hear. I think we can use that for the fire. If we go to Audacity, that's actually good, I think. That one guy who say, okay, so if you're pro gambling, what are your thoughts on drunk driving? You better have the keys on when you're drunk. That's the best advice I can give you. No, no, no. No, for sure, no. You shouldn't do that, really. I'd like to combine like an impact with this fire. Or actually, I don't know. Cancel. I don't want to close this really. What I want to do is search on not just the 2029, but on all of them. So I'm just going to search everything related to fire in here. Yeah, that's top advice. So this is designed fire. Let's see. Okay, that would work for a spell that's like not just a fireball, but like a fire, I don't know, beam or some kind of other fire spell. So these are designed fires, but they don't fit my use case, I think. I think I could use. Oh, you can add it yourself, or I'll add it for you. I'll add it for you. But if you want to add a quote, you can. I don't know if you have to be a moderator or not. I think you can add a quote. But you better better. Let me write it here. Have the keys on when you're drunk. I think that's gonna do it. Yeah, that's one more quote. Okay, so I think I can use that in here, the designed thingy, the fire spell. This part, let's see. Or actually, why did I remove the other one? Let's see. I could combine those or do something like that. Oh, okay, so I have to do quote add. So it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be exclamation mark, quote, add, and then the quote. So now we should have three quotes. If we do, you can do the quote command, and it should happen, like it should be there. Okay, so I'm gonna mute this one, and I wanna hear just this. This is the beginning. Let me get rid of this part. Let's do a fade in here, effect, fading, fade out. I think it still could be faster. Like this part could be the one that's, let's do effect, fading, fade out. But I want it to be, I don't know. Let's do a little bit faster, and the pitch is gonna be deeper, like a lower pitch. And let's see what we can do with this open part, this upper part. Yeah, I don't want this part. I like, maybe, yeah, I can make it here and just fade it too. As the effect, fading, fade out. Nope. Yeah, there it is. Here, yeah, I can get rid of this tail and this thing here too. Let's do effect, fading, fade out like that. I think that's better. And level morph is here and says hello. Hello, level morph. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Are you into game dev or just gaming, or what is it that interests you? Let's do export audio, export to computer. Here I'm gonna call this Fireball Impact. I'm gonna do mono, and here I'm gonna put it in stratagem, audio, sound effects, and selected. Yeah, that's good. Let's do save, and yeah. Now let's cancel and let's go back into the game and try and see if it's good. And Patimate says hello. Hello, Patimate. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. So same question for you. Are you into game dev? Maybe just gaming or on any other hobby or related to game development, like maybe artist, 3D modeler, or something else, maybe into audio. Um, yeah, so let's go into the the fireball. Or first, I have to import the new sound effect. So let's go in here, and I'm gonna go into downloads, the strategy and magic, the yeah audio folder, the sound effects selected. That's where I have the sound effects that I know I'm going to use. So here I'm going to use the fireball impact. Where is it? Fireball. No, where did I export it? File, export audio, export to computer, browse. Maybe I didn't export it well. Fireball impact, like that. Let's save. Oh, and I set it to stereo. Let's do mono. File, export audio, export to computer, mono, export. So now, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of those and I'm going to re-export this because I one time I exported on stereo, on the other one I exported with an incorrect name. So this is gonna be Fireball Impact, and it's gonna be set to mono. And now I export it, and now it should show up here. And all that's left to do is just putting it here. Let's do, well, it's an SFX. Yeah, let's put it here. Now I want to put it in the Fireball data, like spell data, because I have like a custom data type that I made. It's just a scriptable object that holds all the data of every spell. So I just have to fill that data with the new sound effect. So let's find it. It should be under scriptable objects, and here where I have Fireball, I'm gonna remove the overlay there for the chat, and here for impact. So we have casting audio clip and we have impact audio clip. I just need to replace that with the new audio clip. So in here, Fireball impact, and that should be all. Now let's hear how it sounds. So we had the first part of it done, this part, but now I can hear it. I want to hear the impact. I think it's too loud. But I do like the how it's going. It's just it's too much on the impact, I guess. Let's tweak that. Let's see. I could just make that this part is not as loud. Let's do effect. Let's do volume and compression. Let's yeah, on volume and compression. I normally just normalize things until a certain level. But this could be let's see. Let's preview. Let's do a -10. Let's apply, and the other part should be good. Let's try it. Let's do file, export audio, export to computer. And this is going to be Fireball Impact, fireball, impact, like that. Where is it? Yeah, that's the correct place. Save. And let's do mono. Export. And replace the one that we had. Now, if I remove this from the fireball impact, I remove it from Unity and I import it back again, I think it should be automatically be recognized as long as it's on the same folder. So let's do fireball. A little bit too loud, I guess. I would say. I think I could do like every impact is not going to be as loud because if I do go into the other impact, it seems to be like the same seems to be happening. The impact is a little bit too loud. So I could just do here on spell data. Let's do spell data, or where am I playing this? On the spell script. Let's open the spell script in here. Yeah, let's go to scripts and it should be under spells. Yeah, spells or spell script. And here I'm gonna have another variable that's gonna be controlling this field private. It's gonna be a float, so decimal numbers, and it's gonna be called what? Impact spell or impact sound or impact volume scale, and I'm gonna put it to 0.75, so it's gonna be 3/4 of the real sound that the audio clip has. And like when you say, will spells have any cooldown? I'm not sure yet. Probably some at some point. I still have to redesign the whole UI. So when I do that, I'll see what I do about spell cooldowns and whatever. For now, there are no spells that have cooldown. But probably will in some in a while. I'll introduce that probably. Okay, so here, the impact, when I play it, I can also specify the volume scale. So I'm going to just do impact volume scale and let's play this. Now, ice bomb. Now it's like louder. Seems to be louder. What about the fireball? Well, it's okay. What about if we do 0.5 as a default? And I'll have to go to every... I'll have to go to every single one of those. I really want to hard code this. Because it should be the same for every single one of them. I could make this a constant, but this won't let me serialize it. Yeah, this won't let me serialize it. But I guess it's not that bad. At least it's not a magic number. We have it there. So it's a constant for every single spell. but will it have an impact on the sound? That's what I'd like to know. And Crunchy Cookie is here and say, hey, what's up? Hello, Crunchy Cookie. Welcome to the stream. Nothing much. How's it going? I'm just writing sound effects for the game here. And I'm trying mostly like volumes. Because I think that when I cast a spell, like you can hear, it's okay. Like the sound is okay. But when on impact, it seems to be a little bit too much for me. And Nightwing, you say, why don't you use Rider for code? I don't know. I'm used to VS Code, and I really like the customization it has. I have a bunch of plugins for my VS Code in here, like extensions and whatever. It just works very well. I just really like it. I don't really have uh, any real argument to switch to another IDE for now. Not that I don't like Rider. I just use this one and it works for me, so that's it. And Crunchy Cookie, you say it looks super well made. Thank you. Really, really appreciate it. Still working on it though. So Fireball, yeah. If I do if I reduce the sound in here, for example, to 0.25, will this work? Because I tried with other values, and I think the normalization is like getting rid of those changes, maybe. I think that's better. I think it did have an effect. Now for the ice bomb, it seems to be a little bit not like a little bit too low on audio. Yeah, let's go in here and let's do a 4. Let's do a 4. And Nightwing, you say I had performance problems with VS Code, so I switched to Rider. And how is it going with Rider? Did you like it better? And Samblisto is here, and you say, "Hey, sorry I'm late. How's it going? What's up, Samblisto? Welcome to the stream. Don't worry about it. Completely okay. I'm just glad you were able to join. It's going pretty well. How's it going for you? So I just added some like a sound effect, and I'm just trying the volumes out because I also added an audio mixer in here that lets me tweak the different like audio levels. So I have master, I have UI, spells, movement, enemies, and music. Those are all like separated into their own audio channel. So yeah, that's it. Say it's going amazing. Thanks. I'm very glad, very glad. And mayonnaise 5446 says, is the impact sound based on distance? No, it's not based on distance. Everything is like calculated. Like everything is going to sound the same, even though they could be having different distances. I plan to do a custom like a roll-off effect. So the further something is, the less you're going to hear it. But for now, it's just in this way. And you can see all the movement is separated into one channel. You can see it play there. And when I cast a spell, it goes to the other channel, you know? So I think that's pretty cool. Now, what I'd like to see is... Okay, that seems to be okay. A 0.4 is okay. Yeah, I need more sound effects for... well, for a lot of stuff, really. I need... I would like to change these ones because they don't really fit the game, and this one too. I don't know. I don't think they fit the game. I was just using it for like trying it out, and for this magic spell, this doesn't even have like sound. I just thought the movement was the most important one to have sound for, because I don't know. I just really like it. I love this silly guy moving on screen with some sound effects. Make it makes it look more, I don't know, better. And Night when you say for me, Rider is much more convenient. What have you found more convenient about Rider? Like um, what would you say are the best things that Rider has compared to VS Code? Because I wouldn't mind switching really. I just don't have a valid reason. Okay, so let's put this back here and yeah. So let me go into Notion and check these boxes. So for walking, I have walking on grass, and I'm going to add more for when you are walking on snow or when you are walking on wood. So there are some fences in the game where you can walk on top of them. So when that happens, I want some different sound effect to play instead of just the grass sound. All the same thing for the concrete because there's like a building on the center of the map where you can step on like rock or concrete, something more solid. So I want to have some sound effects for that too. Now we have jumping, we have landing, we have touching. Um, we don't have for getting hit, not damaging the player and killing an enemy. So what else? We have for casting a fireball, an impact fireball. We have for casting as an ice bomb and impact of ice bomb. So those are fine. I want to switch those really the health regeneration and the mana regeneration sounds. I want to switch those, so I'll leave them blank for now. Yeah, the magic projectile I think is the one that I should care about now because you're going to be using it quite a lot, and I would like to have a new version up and running on itch for you to have access to this weekend. So probably gonna be one of the most important things to have. Well, this magic spell, these two, and these three sound effects more. But before that, I'm gonna go for lunch. So I'm gonna be right here, just gonna be a while. Gonna find my plate, gonna get some food, and I'm gonna watch a video. So if you want to watch along with me, you're welcome to. But yeah, I'll be right back. Well, the food's not ready yet, so I guess I'll be here for a little bit more before going to take lunch. And simply say que aproveche. Muchas gracias, Sambristo. Muchas gracias. Um, okay, so here, getting hit, getting hit. Let's find something for hit because I have like a huge library of sound effects that I got from Sony's, and they like each year they have like a different like bundle of sound effects. So that's what I'm using. The only problem that I have found so far is that not all the sounds are designed. They are like just uh, helpful sounds that you can use to make your own sounds, but not all of them are designed so you can just use them in your games. Like you're going to find like a lot of fire effects, but sound effects, but not really like a spell of fire spell or whatever. And like when you say, I'm not trying to convince you to switch to Rider, and I actually can't explain every feature that Rider has. It's just very convenient for me. Oh, that's good. That's good. I think you should really like the tools that you use. And for example, I use VS Code, and it's not the most convenient. I would say the Visual Studio Community Editor is pretty good. because it's you just download it and it works instantly. There's no need for setup and whatever. I think that's a more convenient one. From what I have tried, which is not a lot. Um, but I just really like the VS Code themes and that you can have plugins going in there and whatever. But yeah, I'm not saying VS Code supremacy. I'm just saying it's the one that I'm using and the one that I like. But I'm glad you found one that is better fitting for you. And Tali, you say dot. What's up, Tali? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so here let's do a hit. Um, yeah, not really finding anything with a hit. Let's do here Sony's, and I'm gonna find hit. So how's it going, Tali? Here swings, hits, and whatever. Let's do. But these are like golfing hits. Yeah, I want something more gamey. Hand-to-hand combat. I want something. Okay, we could use that, but it doesn't sound that powerful. Yeah, I'm not going to use that. Um, Let me put this in here. So let me open this in another tab. So downloads, this audio, sound effects, and I'm gonna put it in here just to have it close. So now let's going back into searching for hit sound effects, industrial terror, hits and transitions. Yeah, not what I'm looking for. What about this? These are cool, but not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something more subtle that doesn't really overwhelm you when there's like 10 playing. And Tali say Friday equal game making weekend begins. I can wait for the progress I'll make on my game. Cool stuff, cool stuff. Make sure to share anything that you'd like to me to see. So yeah, yeah. Let's see. Hit shot sci-fi. Maybe there's something that I already have on the project. So what are you going to be working on today, Tali? Let's go into player movement samples. I think this hit is good enough. Yeah, the hit is good enough. I could use it, yeah. So I'm going to use that one for when, basically when anything gets hit. So let's go into. Well, I first have to add it to the sound effects. So let's do one for that one. I'm gonna close this thing and this one too. And on Audio Manager, I'm going to add another sound. So this one is going to be hit. And so I have to add that to the Audio Manager too in here. So on sound effect clips, I just add a new one and I'm going to add the hit one. So it's this one. I just drag and drop it. And now to use it, I'm going to go into the health. Let's see. I have a health base script for everything that can have health. And for example, my player has is inheriting and has like a player health script. My enemies have an enemy health, but they all are inheriting from health. So what I want to do is basically have a sound. Max health, burn health, and health. Yeah, so I'm gonna put it right here. It's gonna be serialized, field, private. It's gonna be an audio clip, hit sound, or hit audio clip. Now, I need to know when I will play this. So I will play this, not an update, but I have a function that's receive damage. And tell you say what you're working on. I'm working on adding new sound effects for the game, and currently I'm trying to add some sound effects for when the enemies get hit, or well, whenever gets hit, something should uh, happen in the audio or regarding to audio. So in here, and I'll show you in a bit. Just give me a second, and let me let me show you. So in here, I could say, yeah, let's receive damage. Yeah, I need to complete both of those. So whenever I do any of those, I just want to do audio manager that instance that play sound effect, and I have to choose audio manager. I have to choose a channel. So it's gonna be on the enemies channel, or where will it be? Where will it be? I think on the enemies, it's probably. Mm, yeah, I see a problem here where I don't know where the player hit sound should play. Let's just say it's gonna be on the enemies. I can always overwrite this if I want to on the player script. So yeah, let's do enemies. The audio clip is going to be hit AC, and the volume I'm going to leave blank or not going to complete it just because it's going to be a default of 1. Now, if I go to the player health that's inheriting from here, I need to override the receive damage function with another channel, basically. So player health. Yeah, player health. Yeah, the base is happening here. I just don't want everything from the base to happen. So, hmm. Well, let's see how it is. Let's see how it is. So, yeah, I don't really need a reference to any audio clip. I just know which one it is. So let's see. I need to hurt some enemies to try this out, or hurt myself, hurt the player. Okay, so I see a warning. Play one shot, that's the thing that's playing my audio, was called with a null audio clip. So that means there was an unassigned audio clip. Now let me go to the audio manager. Well, music clips, empty. Hmm. Let me modify this because no, now I no longer have the need for an effects audio source since I have multiple of those. Yeah, so I'm going to just comment this one. Where else am I using this? Side effects volume. Yeah, I'm going to comment this one. Now, um, now that's done, I just wanted to try it out. So, in both of those receive damage. I am calling both of those in here too, right? Yeah, I have a damage to receive. It should play. The problem is with these audio effects. So let's see where I'm using those. Initialize sound effects dictionary. In here. So there shouldn't be a problem with this. Hit. Because I have created. Maybe I didn't call it correctly. Let's go into the health. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't need. Yeah, I don't need this. I don't need this. In health. Or will I need it? Because otherwise I would have to call it. I'm just gonna use it in here. Like this. Hit. AC. This is not going to be no longer going to be like that. It's gonna be audio manager. Manager. And it's gonna be hit. Audio effects dot hit. And the same thing for the one that comes after that. So now everything should have the same audio effect. Everything. Which is something I can change, but for now, everything is gonna sound the same when they get hurt. So if I, for example, jump off of here, yeah, I get that sound effect. Now, I think it is like a little bit too loud, but let's see. Let me try that into, like with one of those enemies that we have. Nah, I don't like it. Sounds silly. It's like you were hitting a bouncy object. It would be more like it should feel like harder because it's like yeah, that's not how I expect it to sound. But at least it's there. Okay, so dying rack, metal impact, hit and rumble, melee, flood letter, hit smack. I could use one of those. Let's see. I'm gonna put this one in here under sound effects. And here, design hit chime, whoosh, hit glitch. Trailer, hit curveness. This is a baseball bat. This sounds too metallic. It's actually cool, but sounds too metallic. Metal plate, modern bell covered. I'm just looking for everything that could be used as an impact. That's not the one. That could be. I know it sounds like rocks, but it's sounds like fletch too. I'm gonna copy this and leave it under sound effects. Break shit celery. No. Hand-to-hand combat body hits. Okay, that's the one that I already have on there. Already pulled away, and I have it on sound effects. Let's see this one. Monster Trail Hidden Chainmail. Synthetic hit. Nope. Hit big drum. Let me try one of those that we already pulled. That is a big contender. Let's pull rock shit. I think that's good. The melee or the hand-to-hand combat. Either one of those. I'm gonna try the hand-to-hand combat first, just because it's easier. Like I don't have to chop it up. So I'm gonna put it under sound effects. Hand-to-hand combat. Yeah, let's bring it into the project. And on Audio Manager, I just have to swap that one for the hit that we had going on. Now let's save and let's try and hear how it sounds. Okay, so now I just want to hear that hit. Okay, like the fireball already does a lot of sound. The fireball, well, the fireball does too, but I want to see what about the ice bomb. That's okay. That's fine to me. Yeah, I'm gonna move on to another one then. So Notion, damaging an enemy. Now it would be good for when the enemy is destroyed to have something very like fleshy happening, because there's so it looks good with the particles that we have going on, and probably will be different for every, like there's not going to be just one type of hit, but and Nightwing, you say, can you change spells while moving? Yeah, I can. I'm just not very good at it. And I'll probably redesign how you select the spells, because it works for a game like Helldivers where these things are not as you see, I can select a spell while I move here. You know, I can. But yeah, I think a system like this works better for a game like Helldivers, where you're mostly firing other stuff, and those are like your superpowers. But this is more like you'll always have to be Um, you'll always have to be trying to select those because that's the way you fire or you damage the enemies. Okay, so now let's find a sound effect for what I just said. So and this could work a little bit. Maybe with a little bit of processing, it could work. So let's do Fletch. Cinematic texture Fletch. Good. That could work. Squitch Fletch. I think something like this with yeah, let's do that one with this one. Let's pull Audacity up. And I'm going to delete both of those previous one, previous ones, and I'm going to select this one and bring them here. Now I just need one of these. I'm gonna mute the one on top, and I'm gonna just isolate one of these effects. I think that's it. Now I just need the beginning of this one, and I'm going to pair it with another effect or another sound effect. Like that. I think it's a little bit too loud. Or let's see, what about this one? And Joel the Porter, you say, can you play it for free? Yeah, there's a version on itch.io. If you go into the description of this stream, you're gonna see like play my games or play the game. There it is. You can go to my itch, and there you can download it for free. I plan to. It's this game is not going to be always be free, but for now, all the versions are free for you to try, for you to like just play. No payment involved. Give me a second. I'm gonna be right back. Hello, I'm back here, and I'm gonna be taking lunch. So I'm gonna watch a video if you want to watch along. And like when you say this gameplay feels a bit like playing Invoker in Dota. I've never played Dota. I just know the game. Um, but cool, cool. I plan to have some more spells happening. Like now, there's like just 3 to attack, but I plan to have some more in the near future. So today, I Let me find the video. Here.
Microsoft is
Here it is. Let me see if I can put this here. Yeah, like that. Oh, by the way, the video is from, let me put this here. It's from Water CS2. Valve is making Microsoft work.
promising to focus on performance fundamentals for PC gaming on Windows 11. They specifically mentioned fixing background workload management, power and scheduling improvements, and graphic stack optimization. On the surface, this sounds like standard corporate jargon, a vague promise to do better. But if you have been watching the PC gaming landscape, you know what this really is. This is a direct defensive reaction to the biggest competitive threat Windows has faced since the 90s. Valve's SteamOS, and the rise of Linux gaming. For years, Microsoft was complacent. Why shouldn't they be? Windows has been the undisputed king of PC gaming and operating systems in general, controlling over 90% of the market. But the new information, the new benchmarks, and the shifting industry focus on smaller portable devices proves that the foundation of their dominance is starting to crack. This announcement is Microsoft finally admitting that Valve, through Steam hardware and the rising Linux gaming ecosystem, is forcing them to do their work. The biggest pressure point for Windows at the moment is the portable gaming market. When Valve launched the Steam Deck, it didn't just sell a console, it sold a complete optimized operating system, SteamOS, and past head-to-head tests on identical third-party hardware have exposed Windows' critical weakness. Take the Lenovo Legion Go S, a device with an official driver support for both operating systems. Benchmarks from outlets like Dave2D and Ars Technica in tests designed for an apples-to-apples comparison showed SteamOS slaughtering Windows 11 in efficiency and frame rates on these low TDP devices. In games like Cyberpunk 2077, SteamOS delivered 59 FPS where Windows lagged behind.
Well, I love Windows, and I've used it like all my life. I have tried Apple OS, and I think for me at least is uh better OS. Just in terms of not really performance, but in customization and like being more open. But with SteamOS, things are going to change. Like the only reason not more people are in an open source OS like Linux or other distros of Linux is because it's not that easy to do, and there's like a lot of incompatibilities. But I think a lot of people will switch to something like SteamOS if it has like support, because it's like it's kind of like a Linux distro from what I know. Maybe I could be wrong, but if it's supported by Steam and it's like more open, why not?
At 46 FPS. In The Witcher 3, the gap was 76 FPS versus 66 FPS. This performance gap shows that Windows is a resource hog. SteamOS minimalist Linux distribution cuts all that out. It runs only what is needed, freeing up precious CPU cycles and battery power, which is very critical on a portable device. Which the most damning point of all is the battery life. On 2D indie
Another thing that I don't like about Windows is they are trying to force you to use their stuff. Like not only Microsoft Edge, but also they have like their own feed for like news and stuff. It's like super annoying because what you want from an OS is like just having your like basing the doing the basic things of controlling your like your system and like being super um customizable, and it's just annoying that you have those things forced into your OS.
titles, the Legion Go S with SteamOS lasted over 6 hours, while the same device running Windows died after 2 hours and 45 minutes. If you remember when we covered this data a few months ago when it actually came out, there was word that Windows was aware that SteamOS was performing better on this hardware, which led to meetings so they could address this issue and improve Windows to not lose to SteamOS by focusing on their own experience. So when we look at this new Microsoft announcement, it is a list of direct countermeasures to the SteamOS SteamOS effect. Every vague promise they give is a hidden acknowledgement of the Linux advantage. Background workload management. This is the anti-bloatware promise. Microsoft is admitting they have too much running. They are forced to build a priority system to ensure Windows updates, Copilot, Edge, and all the telemetry finally get out of the way when you launch a game. Power and scheduling improvements. This is the direct response to the massive battery life advantage and the instant suspend and resume feature that is flawless on the Steam Deck and SteamOS devices, but are slow or unreliable on Windows. Graphics stack optimizations and updated drivers. This is a long overdue response to the instability and driver conflicts plaguing Windows handhelds. Microsoft is trying to regain control over the graphics ecosystem, which ironically Valve has been improving for everyone through its development of DXVK and VKD3D Proton, which translate DirectX calls to the highly efficient Vulkan API that Valve has been funding. Valve's success is forcing Microsoft to do the hard work of optimization, stability, and reducing system overhead.
That's another thing. Since they are very connected to like not only making games themselves, but game dev and like just making apps. Like they have done a very good app too. Like Steam runs very well. They know what they need. Like there's not just a random company that says going to do an OS, but rather a company that has like a lot of history of making games and making apps, um, very successful ones, and already deployed their own OS.
Task that they have been able to ignore for decades just due to their dominance. So even if you don't plan on using SteamOS yourself, Valve is forcing Microsoft's hand to improve Windows. But there is actually one thing we need to clear up. The narrative of SteamOS is faster isn't actually the whole story, and is very nuanced, being based off the handheld tests that were designed to work with the software from a few months ago. When looking at the data, Windows actually still holds the performance lead on one crucial piece of hardware: desktop PCs with dedicated GPUs. Recent extensive testing, particularly from Ars Technica, showed that the moment you move to a powerful discrete graphics card, the situation reverses. In games like Borderlands 3, Windows consistently performs 20 to 30% better across a wide range of dedicated GPUs. In demanding titles with ray tracing enabled, like Forza Horizon Cyberpunk 2077, Windows can show a consistent 15 to 20% performance lead, especially on 16GB GPUs. This shows that while SteamOS wins on efficiency, Windows still manages raw graphical muscle better. However, Valve is quickly closing this gap with their continuous updates to improve the operating system. So this
Well, everything is mostly optimized for Windows or Mac, and I think with the introduction and mass adoption of SteamOS, games are going to be like optimized for not only Windows and Mac, but also SteamOS. So that could be another difference. And of course, they are still making the games, or sorry, making the OS better. So
is the battlefield Microsoft is trying to defend. They want to maintain desktop performance lead to keep the core enthusiast audience from making the jump to Linux. Once SteamOS is better on any other piece of hardware, Windows dominance among gamers will decade. This technology combined with Proton allows x86 Windows games to run on ARM-based Linux devices. This is the core of Valve's newly announced Steam Frame headset. Now you might wonder, why is this terrifying for Microsoft? And well, ARM chips are the most power efficient on the planet. Valve's work paves the way for a future ultra portable Steam Deck 2 or a SteamOS device that is smaller, lighter, and has battery life that even the current Steam Deck can't touch. Valve's work on cross-architecture compatibility also feeds into the viability of gaming on Apple Silicon Macs. For years, Mac gaming struggled due to Apple's proprietary graphics API, Metal, and its move to ARM chips. Apple's own game porting toolkit has opened the door a bit, but Valve's technology, including its past work on Molten VK, makes it easier for the Steam library to run on Mac. If Valve can make the Steam library available on highly efficient non-Windows laptops, the reason for choosing a Windows PC for gaming diminishes for a massive segment of the market. And this would all be possible with Valve's funded Vex emulator, which many programs seem to already be using. Valve's strategy is simple: make the hardware irrelevant. Whether you have an AMD x86 x86 chip, an ARM Snapdragon, or an Apple M series chip, Valve is building the translation layers to make your entire Steam library work, turning Windows into just one compatible launcher among many. And recent data reinforces that threat. Linux has finally crossed the symbolic threshold of 3% market share on the Steam hardware survey for the first time ever, being only 1% or less just a few years ago. What was once a niche hobbyist OS is now a
Linux is growing like crazy. Even like PewDiePie, pretty huge YouTuber, like passing to Linux is just like a signal of how big Linux is getting, and of course, having such a big figure like PewDiePie passing to Linux is just going to motivate a lot of people to do it as well.
legitimate growing platform thanks almost entirely to Valve and other gaming distros. The only thing keeping Windows firmly in place is its superior compatibility, specifically for key demographics. For example, games like Valorant or Fortnite use kernel-level anti-cheat software that is deliberately designed not to work on SteamOS or Proton. This is Valve's biggest hurdle at the moment, and it's the wall that still protects Windows' most aggressive user base. And it seems like Microsoft knows they can't just fix performance, it has to fix the user experience. The announcement shares two other major initiatives that directly copy Valve. There's also Advanced Shader Delivery, ASD. This is a collaboration with AMD to deliver pre-compiled shaders at install time, directly addressing the stuttering issue that has plagued Windows gaming for years, a problem Steam solved long ago with pre-caching. Ultimately, the announcement that Microsoft is focusing on performance fundamentals is not really a sign of innovation, but a sign of competitive pressure. Valve, a company led by former Microsoft employees, realized a decade ago that the generic bloated Windows OS was a catastrophe for PC gaming. They spent the time building an alternative, and its success, from the efficiency of the Steam Deck to the stability of the Linux gaming ecosystem, has exposed the rot at the core of Windows. Microsoft is now being forced to reverse the course, de-bloat its OS, fix its power management, and strip away years of legacy unwanted features just to compete with a Linux variant. And this is the Valve effect in action. Steam is forcing the entire PC gaming industry to be better. For us gamers, this is a win-win situation. The console wars may be over, but the operating system wars seem to just be starting. And we are the ones to gain from Microsoft being forced to work harder than they have in 2 decades. Valve reinforced that they plan to release SteamOS as a desktop option officially, but realized there is still a lot of work to do, so we shouldn't expect it soon. But with a new
Well, either way, if the just competition makes everything better, like Windows will get better from this. I don't know if SteamOS will replace Windows. Probably not. It's a huge company and it has been used, and it's been used by a lot of people right now. I don't know if it will ever be able to, if SteamOS will ever be able to replace Windows, because probably like most of the people that know from SteamOS are gamers, and not everyone using Windows is a gamer. Um, but it could get a lot of the customers from Microsoft to switch to SteamOS.
hardware like the Steam Machine coming in 2026, it seems like Windows use among gamers will continue to decrease. Is Windows finally going to become the home of gaming it claims to be, or is this just an attack in a long, drawn-out battle against an increasingly viable SteamOS? If you enjoyed, like this video and subscribe to the channel.
I'm gonna put the link to the video, so if you want to subscribe to this guy and give it a like, you can do that, or also watch it. Yeah. Let me copy this and put it here. And there you go. I'm gonna be right back. Just a moment. Okay, I'm back here. So what we were doing before is just making some sound effects. So I think that will work for enemy death. But I would like to search if there's another that's shorter. Let me see if this works better. Oh, I think that's worse. I did like this one. So let's delete everything else that's not the sound effect. I'm gonna fade the last bit. So effects, fading, fade out. And I think I could, if I make this, how do I make this larger? To computer, and I'm gonna call this hit. Or no, this is not hit. This is enemy death, or just death. Like it's okay. Now this should be mono. On the folder, the folder is okay. Now export. Now if I go to selected, I'm just going to import that into the game. So the new audio is gonna be here. And let's add it to the code so it can be played. So we have hit. I'm gonna add another one. That's going to be, and I have to put a comma there so the enum identifies it's a new element. It's gonna be death, just that. And I have to assign it here as a new sound effect clip. And what happened? Yeah. And I just have to assign it here. Now I need to call it somewhere. So that somewhere is on die. When I have a function for health, it's die. So there, I'm gonna play that sound effect. So here, audio manager that instance that play sound effects, and I have to specify in which channel will it go. Manager is gonna go to enemies, and I have to specify the audio effect, it's death. So now if I press play, it should have sound for eliminating an enemy. So let's go with a fireball and let's find the zone. There it is. I think it does have sound, but it probably is not that loud. I mean, it doesn't bother me that it's not loud. It's just that it could use a little bit more volume. Now, this magic projectile doesn't have any sound at all, so that's annoying. Yeah, so I'm going to sound effect a little bit more volume. Specifically to this part, I guess. So let's do effect. I will do volume, normalize, and preview -10. Let's do -8. Apply. Okay, no, actually, it's gonna be like -4 or something. Normalize. It's gonna be set to -4. Art, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How is it going, dude? I saw you were streaming. Did you end stream already? Or are you still streaming? Let's apply this. And what did you do today on your stream? Because like everything here, and yeah, do the volume compression. Let's do and try and see how it sounds. And I just said, yeah, it was short. Had 2 hours before. What did you? What were you doing in your stream? Export audio, export to computer, mono, and this is death. Export, and it's gonna overwrite the previous sound effects that I had, and I'm just going to delete this one and bring it again so it gets updated like that. Just dropping it here. So now let's see. Let's hear. That's better. Yeah, the only thing that makes it a little bit weird is that the other, like this spellcasting doesn't have any audio, but it's not that bad with a spell like this one. I still think it's a little bit loud, but this can be changed. I could go to the audio mixer since now I have it separated. The cheese guy say hello. I see the sounds are already perfected. Hello, cheese guy. Welcome to the stream. I wouldn't say perfected, but they are there and they're better. So in spells, I'm gonna do -8, or actually just -10, like the movement. Let's see now. Now this one just lacks effects, but I'm just going to do it right now for the magic projectile. And I just say just 2 things. Set up a method for testers to unlock missions by a button. Okay, helpful. And so I wrote a server-side stuff that let that happen. Also had to make some safe ways to mutate rewards based on odds. Oh, okay. Cool. So what are the different odds that you have? Are like the non-skippable or the skippable? Like I don't know what are the types. Maybe different duration. And are just say so if they click to watch an ad, the server would double up whatever they got during the mission. Okay. But the player like can't skip it and whatever. That's what you're trying to do there, or what? That's what you did there. Um, okay, so going back to here, I have to find like a whoosh, something that sounds whooshy for the magic projectile. Whoosh for WOOSH. Whoosh. Whooshes and impacts. Let's hear. And she's gonna say, Roman, is this true that Nick overtook my by gambling? Yeah, it is true. It is true. I was here to contemplate that. He won like I don't know 150 in just one uh play, or I don't know. I think he was using two accounts. I think he was very tricky because he was playing, he was gambling, but also used the other account. But you're just winning. And Arthur said, yeah, the idea is we needed to safely let the data for currency already gotten during the gameplay to be double. And this is done once when this guy, yeah. So he was using just to make things more fair. Since you're not using another account, I'm gonna give you a couple of stars so things can get uh, equal at least. It's all going to depend on gambling now. Let me open this thing here. Shut. Okay, so not really like that one. That one could be good, but super loud. So I do like that one. Let me copy this and let's go in sound effects. I'm going to basically delete. Well, let's do Control Z. Sound effects. Yeah, I'm going to delete those. And I'm going to bring this one here. And here, let's hear the whooshes. Yeah, not what I'm looking for. That could work. Yeah, I'm gonna use that one. Sounds cool. So for let's do the whoosh first. Let's do the whoosh. And I'm going to delete these ones here. I think I could use this for something else.